Okay, so for my activity one, I chose to do a survey for my students. And just backing up, the topic that really hit me in England was how they separate their school and work life from their like actual life, which is not something we see here. As a teacher, I mean, I'm doing things for school. I'm long-term subbing and I'm doing things for these kids like 24/7. Like I'm having dreams about these kids. When I drive home, I'm like thinking about grading and answering emails and all the things I need to do. And I just feel like I don't get a break because I feel like if I am like, I don't know, if I take a nap or if I'm just watching TV, I'm like, oh my God, I should be doing something. It's not fair to these kids and I'm like wasting time. So that was like a drastic difference I noticed between us and between the schools in Cambridge, was that Danielle, who was that Irish teacher who I love, she told us that teachers don't email past 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. is the cutoff for work. And they also don't give homework, or they try not to give too much homework, because the kids need a break. And when they do give homework, they talk amongst each other, like the different subject teachers. So history teachers will talk with English teachers, who will talk with math teachers, to make sure they're not all assigning like a test or an essay on the same day. Also, side note, sorry about the tree, it's like pretty crazy. So I don't see that type of communication among subject areas in American schools the way I saw it in Cambridge. That was another thing, was the collaboration between the different subject areas. So what I decided to do for my activity one was have my kids fill out a survey on my whiteboard, and I'll include the photo when I send this video. I took a panorama of my whiteboard, and all the kids were so eager to fill it out. Originally, I had only 10 spaces, and I had kids coming up to me being like, can I be number 11? Can I be number 12? I was like, fine. So I think we got up to 13 before the board was like super full. So some of the questions I decided to ask, I mean, it's kind of divided into like 3 different categories. So the first category would be GPA, age, and how many APs you're taking. So it's like simple stats. A lot of their GPAs were super high because I guess they put the inflated ones. So the AP score, or the AP grade, gets rounded up a point. So if you get a B, it's a 4.0, things like that. The ages were all 16 or 17, and the AP classes varied from 2 to 5. So we had some nerds in there. No one had less than 2, which was like, it's a lot. The second category that I decided to ask about was more like what they do outside of school. So I asked them how many what's the like number of hours of sleep they get per night, and I saw a lot of 4 to 6 hours, which was not enough for teenagers. And then I decided to ask them about their extracurriculars, and all of them were involved in at least 2 or 3 extracurriculars. So that would be drama. A lot of them were volunteering because it's McLean and they're nerds and they want to get into Yale because like GMU is like a safety school. Side note, I think the kids are like smarter than me. They're like super nerdy. Like some of them were like, UVA is a safety. I was like, I got rejected from UVA, but it's fine. I'm not bitter. And then the third category was to do with homework. So the third category, the first question I said was what number of hours do you spend on homework per night? Sometimes it was pretty similar to the number of hours they spend sleeping, which is really alarming. Some of them were like 1, because I should be doing homework, but I'm not. And then the next question was like the big question was, would you benefit from a no homework policy, like a school-wide no homework policy? And a lot of them, I was surprised by the answers. I thought they'd all be like, yeah, because they're lazy. Not lazy, but like, yeah, they're lazy. but some of them said no because they feel like they benefit from homework. And some of them said it depends on the subject. So I think that made the most sense. Like, they're like, math homework, yeah, they need that for practice. But like other subjects, not so much. Or like they would benefit from having, I asked in general, but then I talked with some of them about like, what about English? And they were like, maybe if we had time to read in class, like they'd be a little less overwhelmed. So that's something to take into consideration. In the AP classes I teach, we don't really give them time in class to read because like it's expected that they're using their time outside of class to read, and that's different from the regular classes where a lot of teachers put like audiobooks on or whatever. So yeah, their answers surprised me. So after talking at our Oh George seminar, I think I do want to pursue this topic for my research next year. I definitely would need to work on like making it a little more specific, like what I'm looking for, but this is like there's a big difference in the way that we run our schools here and the way that schools are run overseas. And I would definitely like to research that and look at how our test scores are different, so things like that. So yeah, that's my activity 1. Thank you, Lindsay, and I hope you're having a wonderful time in Scotland. I'm super jealous, like you don't even know. And also I'm stalking your Instagram. I was doing that before I recorded this video, so sorry. Okay, bye.